Pretty Girl Club. Have you ever noticed that the dark skinned black women that are praised for their beauty are actually dark skinned mixed women? I think of women like Chili from TLC, like her. I think of women like Ryan Destiny, like Justine Skye, women like Kim Porter. These women are all mixed race women. The only difference between them and myself is that they are darker skinned. Have you ever noticed how when you watch dark skinned, unambiguous black beauty channels and they talk about, doing their hair and makeup and having a glow up, usually what they do is they do everything in their power to kind of morph themselves into a dark skinned mixed woman? I've noticed that the obsession and the tethering onto dark skinned mixed women is actually even stronger than the tethering onto lighter skinned women or light skinned mixed women. And this is because in the black community, they're obsessed with skin tone. And so if they see that you have like a darker skin tone, they automatically approximate you to blackness and nothing else. But we all know that there are plenty of other ethnic groups where they have dark brown skin tones and they are not West African. Have you guys ever noticed how in the unambiguous community they use colorism against us light skins? They call us colorist. And then they use texturism and featureism to throw shade at the darker skinned mixed women. But what a lot of these people don't realize is that they are actually putting all of us on a pedestal by trying to look like us, by approximating us to blackness, when in reality, a lot of them look nothing like us. And so this is where a lot of the insecurities are actually coming from in the black community. It's because you worship women like Justine Skye, you pretend that you look like her, and then you realize you may have the same skin tone as her, but your facial features and your hair texture are way different. And so then it makes you feel insecure about your facial features and your hair texture. Why does no one admit this? Why do people like to pretend like darker skinned mixed women don't exist? I've noticed it's because a lot of darker skinned unambiguous women want to approximate themselves to the beauty of darker skinned mixed race women. I've noticed the same pattern with a lot of East African women where people will they will try to pretend like all African Americans look like how Ethiopians look. They'll try to pretend like all African Americans look like how they look in those East African countries when we already know that to be false. I think that the real reason that a lot of darker skinned unambiguous women won't let us go is because then they would have to admit that without us, they actually don't have a real beauty standard for themselves. They actually don't have a real list of accomplishments for themselves, because a lot of the accomplishments, a lot of the first black titles, like first black president, first black this, first black that, a lot of those titles are actually mixed race people. And so I think that without us, the black community would not have as long of a list of accomplishments to brag about. We are the people that a lot of unambiguous black men and women try to live vicariously through. I've noticed the same pattern with black men as well, where they have this mindset of ownership over us mixed race women. They feel like they own us, they feel like we belong to them, and this is because they have been taught via pornography that somehow we are theirs, or somehow they are sexually entitled to us, or they look to us to kind of fulfill whatever their sexual fantasies are. And I feel like when it comes to black women, they look to us to fulfill their beauty fantasies. They want to live vicariously through our beauty. They want to, for lack of better words, almost clout chase off of our beauty and clout chase off of our status. They want to pretend like all African American women look like Beyonce. They want to pretend that singers like her are not biracial. They want to pretend that dark-skinned mixed women don't exist. And I've seen this happen so much where people will actually get offended if you're a darker skinned mixed woman and you say that you're mixed, because they will really go hard, because they'll be like, how dare you be dark skinned and actually have pretty privilege? How dare you be dark skinned and not have an inferiority complex about your skin tone? How dare you be dark skinned and actually think you're beautiful? I've noticed that that's really where it's coming from. If you're dark skinned and you're a mixed woman and you're confident in how you look, then a lot of dark skinned women who are not confident in how they look, they get mad because you expose their own inferiority complexes. And so they feel like, wait a minute, that's not fair, that we have the same complexion, but you are confident and you're like pretty and you are living the life you want to live and going after your own goals and dreams. You're supposed to be insecure like me. You're supposed to be just as angry as me. You're supposed to be a social justice warrior just like me. You're supposed to be blaming racism, colorism, and texturism for everything just like me. And they just can't wrap their minds around people of a darker skin tone having different experiences than their own. Not every dark skinned person views their dark skin as a handicap. Not every mixed person views their blackness as a handicap. Not every person that has blackness in them views whiteness as the beauty standard. And it's actually sad because I've actually seen more mixed race people embracing their blackness more than a lot of unambiguous people. I've seen mixed race people, they will wear their hair like a 4C hairstyle. They will wear their hair like that. They will not lay their edges. They will, wear their hair quote unquote messy or not slay everything, not slay their wigs and stuff. Just embrace how they naturally look. I've seen more confidence with MLS people when it comes to their blackness versus a lot of unambiguous people. I've noticed that a lot of unambiguous black people seek to almost cover up or erase their blackness as much as they can, because I've heard some people say that they don't get treated like humans unless they wear a wig. They don't get treated like real humans unless they, wear makeup to like contour their nose. They don't get treated like a real human unless they do XYZ to change their phenotype into looking more mixed race. But then instead of standing up to the racist people who perpetuate those mindsets, they decide to make MLS women their enemies. They decide to come on YouTube channels like this and make me their enemy as if I created racism, colorism, texturism, and featureism. And it's like, why don't you go address the white men who created this system in the first place? Why are you even addressing women who are 60% black? That doesn't even make sense. So if I'm 100% black and I feel like people are racist, why would I go attack a woman who is 50% black or 60% black? Why not attack the person that is 100% white who created the racism? Has anyone else noticed this? What do you ladies think? Let me know in the comments section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.